So, welcome everybody to our 2022 Winter Solstice session. So, the Winter Solstice is when the sun reaches its lowest point in the sky here in the Northern Hemisphere, and that results in the shortest day of the year. It's not something that you can see, so we don't have like a meteor shower or anything like that, but it's an event that occurs in a moment, and the precise time of the solstice is actually 9:47 p.m. tonight. And then the sun will start ever so slightly inching higher and higher and higher until we reach the longest day of the year, which is in June 2023. So that's why our ancestors and even some traditions, cultures, and indigenous tribes mark the winter solstice as the sun's rebirth. So there's not an exact recorded time when humans first started observing the solstice, but monuments like Stonehenge indicate that people have been honouring this astronomical season for many years. And traditionally, winter solstice celebrations honoured the symbolism of light and life. So in the darkest times of the year, the faith and knowledge that both would return to our world. To us, it's more a reminder to honour our connection to the natural world and nature's rhythms. So we now celebrate the change in the seasons with our traditional holidays and with gifts and decorations and feasts. But we have an opportunity today to honour the turning point of the seasons with a bit of self-care, listening to what we really need and take us through that time to that time of returning light. But for me, what I wanted to look at today for the theme is celebrating the return of the sun and light. So this idea that the seasons will change, whether the personal seasons of our life or those we observe in the world around us. So after winter must come spring. So whatever 2022 meant for you, however heartbreaking or wild or worrying or glad, it's past us. Just like the sun now slowly returns after 10 o'clock this evening. And just like these moments that we experience through the year can leave us feeling either great or grisly for a long time, they do pass. And even though it seems as though the sun has stopped moving at all for a few days, we know that it is, and slowly and surely it will return in its own time, and things always change. The great times don't last, and neither do the grisly ones. So even if things feel stagnant and unchanging, that's what I want to look at today. It's this idea of this too shall pass, and kind of validating whatever we've experienced this year, so that we can validate it, we can put it in its place, we can say, you know what, I acknowledge this happened. It was great or it wasn't so great, but that's what happened this year, and now let's move on from that. So we find ourselves at the end of it all, through the good and the bad, feeling however we feel. So you can lie on the floor for this practice. So face up with all the cushions and blankets and mats and duvets that you need. You can put a pillow behind your head, and if you just place your arms slightly away from your body and just allow your legs to part slightly as well. And then if you're sitting at a chair, if it's a regular chair like a dining room chair, you're going to sit right at the edge. You're going to push yourself to the edge. You're going to uncross your legs and place your feet flat on the floor. And you're going to just get a sense of the spine growing tall and straight from the pelvis, aligning the shoulders over the hips and the back of the head with the back of the pelvis. And imagine that there's a cord pulling the crown of your head to the ceiling so that your head is ever so slightly tilted. If you're sat at a desk chair, you can push yourself right into the back of it if it's ergonomically designed to fit your back. Or you can sit on the floor, and if you like to meditate regularly and you have your own traditional position, then you can adopt that. So let's really go with this. Let's really celebrate and honour ourselves and give us this time for our well-being. So close the eyes now if you haven't already. And just notice how you feel. Notice, first of all, the temperatures around you. The air might feel chilly or it might be heated by something. And let's take a nice deep breath to come into the moment. So let's fill the lungs, feeling the belly rise, the chest rise, and the collarbones. And let it all out in one go. And let's take the second deepest breath we've taken all day, all year. And fill again your lungs, feeling the belly, the ribs, and the collarbones rise. And then, if you're comfortable to, allow yourself to sigh that one out as well in one gesture, in one go, with an audible sigh. And feel your body, if you are lying down, just sink deeper into the floor. And if you're sitting down, feel your seat sink deeper into whatever's holding you on that out breath. And then take one more of those, filling your lungs, and allow that breath to leave you in an audible sigh. Good. And now let's just notice where we are today. Notice where your mind is. Is it here? A bit more present after doing that simple practice. The 3 deep breaths. Notice how your body feels. Are there any aches? Are there any cold patches you can feel? And then notice how your emotions are doing. How are you feeling? Probably a lot of things. And a reminder for the festive season that it's completely possible and okay to feel both joy and overwhelmed at the same time. To feel both anxious and glad. They're all welcome because we're human, feeling it all. And let's just allow the mind, body, and emotions to have a little bit of space now as we bring our hands to our bellies. So it's your belly. Place your hands there however you wish, you're allowed to. And then bring the breath to the hands. So starting to deepen and lengthen the breath. Feeling the hands rise and feel fully expanded at the top of the in-breath. And notice how everything just falls back softly to the center, the end of the out-breath. And so if you've had some of the colds that have been going around recently, or COVID, this might take you a few rounds to ease into. So just allow that to happen now. Allow your own pace and rhythm to be established here as you bring the breath to the hands at the belly. Oxygenating the part of the lungs where we have the most tissue. The solstice is all about the symbolism of fire and light. So it's also all about igniting that fire in our belly as well, bringing the energy, the goodness, the oxygen here. And just start to notice if it's right for you to just extend that out breath. So if your mind's still quite busy, we might just want to release some tensions of the day and indeed the year. So let's just notice if that's right for us. So On your next exhale, just notice how you feel when you extend the out breath for one count longer than the in breath. And on the next exhale, extend that out breath for one count longer again, so 2 counts longer than the in breath. And then keep increasing that until your out breath is double the count of the in breath, and you might need to adjust the in breath slightly so it's slightly shorter. But just notice if that's what you need today. You'll notice straight away because the mind will become quieter, your body will relax more. And usually most of us need this. So just allow yourself to shape that breath now with a longer, deeper exhale. Feeling the hands rise and fall on the belly, like the sun rising to its peak in the sky and gently, gently falling at sunset. The belly expands full on the in-breath, the sun at its fullest peak in the sky, and everything gently drifts back. The sun drifts below the horizon on the out-breath. Good. And now just drop that and notice how you feel. Notice if you can just snuggle your body deeper into the chair, the seat, the floor, the bed, whatever you sit or lie on. And now I'd like you to bring your attention to the points of connection between your body and the ground or floor below you. So where your feet contact the floor, or perhaps the whole back of the body. Just really feeling those points of connection and noticing if you can just melt those a little bit more into the earth. And see if we can tune in to that sense of the earth below us. See if you can drop your focus to a foot below where your body contacts the floor. And it could be that there's a piece of furniture in the way, so imagine that you're pushing your awareness beyond and below that. And in our hemisphere, this is the Earth's time of rest and recuperation, gathering energy rather than expending it. And while Christmas is around the corner, can we just tune into that concept now, allow ourselves to go with it? Just imagine that you're melting into that space that you're allowing your awareness to drop into, as if the earth itself is folding you in. And you might want to imagine the soil below you, the roots of the plants that are saving the energy for spring. So still there, some of them withered away, but that core taproot's still there, anchored in, saving its energy. The roots of the trees, perhaps, underground rivers, or not, maybe just that awareness of the earth below you, asking nothing of you. And you might feel those points of connection between you and the earth warm slightly as you think of this. So no matter what the surface temperature is, below the earth, there is a point where the temperature is constant and it's warm. So see if you can bring your mind's eye, your awareness to that point. The earth giving you everything you need, that consistency, that warmth. Just holding you in its space while you rest. And then go deeper into your awareness while you're here. So if you still have your hands at the belly, you might want to use that as your point of focus. So while simultaneously feeling yourself absorbed or held or supported by the earth below, by this planet, this majestic and wonderful planet, you're also bringing your awareness to the core of you, wherever that feels intuitively right for you. So just pick somewhere that feels right, and you'll feel the clothing there, perhaps if it's on the body, and the skin below that, and the muscles, and everything. All of this is just sinking deeper and deeper into that earthly space. And the bones and the vessels and the organs below, all just relaxing. And then bring your awareness to a point beyond there. And this is your personal place of healing and rest for today. Just while we do a little bit of contemplation here. So trust me and trust yourself and trust this practice, trust your ability to do this, and go there now. All just sinking, merging with the earth. This core of you, the core of your essence. Going as far and deep as you feel comfortable to. And as you feel safe and supported here, just allow yourself from this place to scan back over the past year and some of the main events that have happened. So allow them to come to you spontaneously. Some might not be that big, they might be quite small, but significant. What comes up here is the heartbreaks or triumphs that really defined 2022 for you. Most of us have a mixture of what we perceive as good and bad. So let's just validate those now. That was our experience for us. So for some of us, let's just validate how we felt when we experienced anything that was painful, anything that hurt, that was hard, that we might still be recovering from. So not unpicking or unraveling anything or going into anxiety or revisiting it, but validating that that was disappointing or hurt you, or that we're not okay all the time, because we are human. So not making it be more significant or grow any bigger. But as far as you are comfortable to, let's acknowledge those not okay feelings, because they exist, they have an impact on us, and they're all facets of our human experience. We're not perfect, life is not perfect. So let's just hold that space to recognize that for a few moments now. This was not okay. I did not accept that. I didn't want it. That really hurt me. Just give yourself a few moments now. And it might not be from this year. You might be thinking of something else. Okay, now let's leave that where it is and let's look at the things that we triumphed, that we created, that we can accept that we created, that we were empowered to do or made us feel empowered, that we mastered. What are you proudest of from the year that's been? Just bring those into your awareness from this space now. And how similar is the intensity of the feeling? Is it harder for you to recognize your triumphs than your pain? Are you giving yourself enough credit? So let's just hold that space to recognize our triumphs now. And again, validating this as part of our experience, addressing and acknowledging these successes in our life. Okay, now let's just allow everything here to be one experience. So all this soup of stuff that made your year what it was and who you were this year. You've given your energy to all of these things, whether that's through habits or thoughts or physical things or experiences or conversation. So that can be energy spent or misspent on projects, wishes, ideas. Just allow it all to settle now, like sediment in a river. Allow it all to float down and settle. into your consciousness, into your being. The river still flows, but the stuff just gently drifts to the bottom. Your life still goes on, and all this just settles itself down. Settling into your awareness and experience of the year. And then once that feels there, let's just gather all that stuff that's settled and allow it to just fuse into the earth, be absorbed by the earth. All those little particles moving in between the soil. Just feel it all leave you and seep into the earth, the greatest recycler, taking the momentum of your collective experience of this past year to propel you to the next phase of your life. Letting it all go to create an even more colourful, vibrant, wonderful experience for the next season. Okay, and let's bring our awareness back to that sense of your personal core, the depth of you, your absolute being. Going beyond now, a little bit deeper. Your own healing space where there is no experience, no feeling, no emotion, just resilience, strength, and peace. And just be here, deeply a part of the planet that houses this playground for all your experiences, support, and connections. And just as the world around us gathers strength through rest at this time, we become part of that collective instinct now. So just rest here for a few moments now. Okay. And now let's allow ourselves to just leave the experience of today's session as it is and gently allow our awareness to drift back. So let's just leave that depth there. Let's bring our attention gently back now to our bodies and the points of connection between whatever we sit or lie on. And let's just breathe into those points of connection for a moment. If the hands are still at the belly, maybe we will feel the breath gently moving the hands. And let's bring our awareness to the temperature of the exposed skin on the hands and face. Let's notice how our mind feels now, how our body feels now, and how our emotions feel now. And let's take a nice stretch as if waking up from a nap, which some of us legitimately might be. And let's, if we're lying down, roll over to one side and bring ourselves up to a seated position. And when we're ready, let's gently, gently blink the eyes open. Take your time. And that's the end of our winter solstice session for 2022. So thanks so much for joining, and I hope you enjoyed it.